Hi, I'm Alid from Nomensa. In this short video, I'm going to talk about implicit interactions, what they are, and how we can use them to make life easier for people. So what are implicit interactions? I think the best way to explain this is to compare implicit interactions with explicit interactions. But to do that, we also need to define explicit interactions. If something is explicit, then it's stated clearly and in detail, leaving no room for confusion or doubt. Instruction manuals are a good example of explicit communication. These documents need to describe exactly what a person needs to do, clearly and in detail, leaving little or no room for ambiguity. In contrast, if something is implicit, then it's suggested but not directly expressed. So imagine you ask your cat how he's doing. Your cat says, "I'm fine," but his face looks like this. Although he says he's fine, his face implies that he's anything but fine. People are usually pretty good at reading between the lines and picking up these unspoken clues, but computers are not. Most of the time, we have to tell our computers and devices precisely what we want them to do. We tend to interact with digital devices by giving them a series of detailed, specific instructions. Let's look at the web as an example. Clicking and tapping on links and buttons are direct and straightforward ways of telling a web browser exactly what we want it to do. These are the kinds of explicit interactions that most of us are familiar with. But what if our devices could read between the lines? Or better yet, what if our devices could make intelligent guesses about what we want to do and then adapt themselves to answer our unspoken needs? This is where implicit interactions come in. So I've explained what we mean by implicit interactions, but I haven't really defined them. For that, I'm going to borrow a definition from a renowned professor of human-computer interaction, Alan Dix. He wrote that these kind of interactions occur where actions performed for some other purpose, or unconscious signs, are interpreted in order to influence, improve, or facilitate the actor's future interaction or day-to-day life. The actors Dix is referring to in this case are our users. So in other words, implicit interactions occur when our computers and devices try and read between the lines, making educated guesses about what we might want to do, based on our behavior or what we've done before. So how can our devices do this? Implicit interactions are popular in mobile applications. There are two reasons for this. 1. Smartphones contain many clever sensors that can measure aspects of our environment, like noise levels, light levels, and they can also measure our movement and location. 2. Smartphones are small and portable, so we tend to carry them with us at all times. This means that our mobile devices are clever enough and are with us often enough to learn a great deal about what we're doing and what's going on around us. By using this information cleverly, software designers can create implicit interactions that make users' lives easier. So for example, a newsreading application could sense that it's dark where you are, so the colors of the text and background automatically change to more muted tones, so that the harsh, bright light doesn't hurt your eyes as you're reading in the dark. But we don't need fancy sensors to be able to make intelligent guesses about what our users might want to do. Instead, we can look at what they've already done, what they're currently doing, or what other people commonly do in the same situation. So let's look at a few examples. Here's an example from online movie streaming giant Netflix. When you reach the end of an episode of a TV show on Netflix, the next episode starts playing automatically after a few seconds. The designers at Netflix understood that when people are really enjoying a TV show, they often want to watch several episodes in one sitting. Using this understanding of people's TV watching habits, the designers at Netflix have made it effortless for users to do just that. The Evernote web clipper is a browser extension that lets you easily save information from a web page into one of your Evernote notebooks. The web clipper's smart filing feature pre-selects one of your notebooks for the new clipping based on how you've organized similar notes in the past. So if you're researching holidays in Tunisia online and clipping the information into Evernote, the smart filing feature will look at what you're clipping and what you've done with similar clippings in the past, and it will ask you if you want to file that clip away in your holidays notebook. By using knowledge of the information you're handling and what you've done with similar information in the past, the designers at Evernote have created an implicit interaction that could save you a lot of time. Scanbot by German app development studio Do is one of my favorite iPhone apps. It turns the iPhone into a document scanner with lots of cool features like automatically recognizing the edges of documents and optical character recognition. Scanbot makes it incredibly easy to scan paper documents, and one of the reasons for this is the way it makes use of an implicit interaction. When you open Scanbot, right away it's ready to start scanning. All you have to do is point the camera at your document and it starts scanning. No button taps required. Compare that to Scanner Pro, another scanning app by Riedel, which asks you to choose between scanning a new document and viewing your existing scans every time you open the app. The designers at Do have understood that the primary use case for the app is to scan a document. Users opening the app are therefore more likely to want to scan something rather than view things they've already scanned. Using this knowledge, the designers made this task pretty much effortless. I saved my favorite example for last. It's Amazon's Autorip feature. If you buy an eligible music CD from Amazon, Amazon will give you an MP3 version of that music, which you can then instantly download or stream from Amazon's website and mobile apps. Amazon's designers understood that people who buy CDs often transfer the music to their computers as soon as they can in order to copy that music to their mobile devices. Autorip eliminates the work required to digitize your CD purchases. This makes life easier for Amazon's customers and could even delight them if they weren't expecting it. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry is credited as saying that perfection is attained not when there's nothing more to add, but when there's nothing more to take away. And that's exactly what clever designers have done in these examples. By looking at what people have already done, what they're currently doing, and what other people tend to do in the same situation, we can often reduce the amount of work our users have to do by making clever guesses about what they want to do. If it works, then it makes life easier for our users and may even delight them in the process. So the next time you design some interactions, ask yourself whether you can remove any steps based on what you know about your users. If you've come across any cool implicit interactions online, in an app, or somewhere else, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.